The Joe Rogan Experience.
He might be. He might be the most powerful man
So
on
let me
Earth.
ask you this. What do you think about all this alien shit that's going on right now? All this UFO shit. What do you think that is? You think that's a distraction?
The stuff that's going on right now, 100%.
Yes,
The
100%.
FISA just got declassed. They're trying to. That's what it is. The FISA declass, are you kidding? That's going to bury a lot of people going to jail.
So you think that's why the UFO stuff is out there?
It's always been about UFOs, really.
Do you think that they do that? Like they have certain UFO cases that they say, listen, if anything gets weird, we're just going to let this motherfucker loose. Woo! And we're going to tell people, listen, we've seen the aliens. We've got a hold of them. We've got to alert Congress. We've got to talk to people. And then people start just forgetting about corruption, forgetting about the BP oil spill, forget about whatever the fuck is. Dude, the aliens are coming.
Yes.
Trust me.
Yes.
They've been talking to the government.
Yes.
You know what my argument against it has always been? Why would they talk to the government? If you're from another fucking planet, like when we visit chimpanzees, we don't say, hey, who's the number one chimp? We want to bring you bananas and sign a peace treaty with you. We don't give a fuck who the leader is. Get out of here. You don't get special deals.
Yeah.
You don't get special deals.
Take us to your leader.
Chimp. Oh, the top chimp made a deal to let us kidnap some baby chimps so we could bring them to the zoo. Yeah. The fuck out of here.
Yeah.
If they're coming here from another planet, they must be so much more sophisticated than we are. They're not going to listen to us.
Yeah.
We're crazy.
They're doing it for several reasons, in my opinion, and one, like exactly like you said, when there's for distractions, and right now they're going heavy with it. But you know, Werner von Braun, the last 4 years of his life, he had cancer, and he had an assistant, and you can watch her on YouTube talk. Her name is Dr. Carol Rosalind, and she said that he kept telling her over and over, because they're preparing, like on his deathbed, they're preparing for a fake alien invasion. Oh, that's what they're doing. They're trying to scare us into a new world order.
Dun, dun, dun.
And she talked about this. No, she doesn't say why. He goes, he never told me why. He just kept telling me, all this stuff you hear about aliens and asteroids, it's all fake. First, there's going to be an environmental threat that they're going to scare everybody with. Global warming is my opinion. In my opinion, then there's going to be asteroid threats, and then the final one. And she says this, and he kept saying this because the final one, the last one they're going to do is the fake alien invasion. That's why there's movies like Independence Day. It gets everyone used to, we're all going to, let's call China and Russia and we all band together.
Good call.
It's to get us prepared for a one world government. That's what it's really all about. The aliens and all that, the Nazis were doing that to their own people. They made, when I was balls deep in the UFO community, we would, they would show us that, there's pictures of the German UFOs. And in the UFO community, we looked at that as evidence that they must have found crashed UFOs, and then they're trying to reverse engineer them. That's what everybody in the UFO community thinks. But when you look into it, dude, they were trying to scare their own people to look for the government. They're just scaring us so that we go to the government.
Well, science fiction had flying saucers before flying saucers were something that the government or the German.
Well, you look at the timing. The timing here goes.
Tried to create. So. Yeah. I think they were if they were trying to freak people out and make it seem like it was aliens.
30s, yes, yeah. So, exactly. So World War II's over. Operation Paperclip. Look, Operation Paperclip, 1945, 1946. We bring in over all the guys that ended up creating the CIA and NASA were from Operation Paperclip. So right away.
For sure, NASA.
So when you look at this, if the Nazis were trying to scare their own people with fake UFOs, they must have came in and said, dude, you guys aren't on the UFO shit. You got to scare your people. So that's exactly when all the comic books were, all these space comic books. Wait a minute.
So the Germans were scaring their people with UFOs before the United States got scared with UFOs? Really?
Yes. This was the 30s.
That is, listen, if you're going to be a master of propaganda like Hitler was, right?
Yes.
Manipulation and propaganda, that would be the move, man.
Who wanted a new world order more than Hitler? Who wanted to control the world more than that guy?
Right.
That guy knew how to do it, and it's an old idea. It's an old idea.
Sure.
The way everybody, the ancient Roman emperors, they all dreamt for that one world government, but they couldn't pull it off. There was no way they could pull it off because the only way to make a new world order actually happen is you got to get the people to embrace it. You can't force them into it. So you got to mind fuck them to embrace a new world order. You got to make them want it. Otherwise, they're not going to do it.
They'll just stay in their own little tribe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And all the little rulers will go like, dude, we do a one world government. I'm out of a job. Fuck you. So it's impossible. But they theorized if there was some kind of alien threat that.
Don't you remember Reagan talking about that?
Exactly. When you're in the UFO community, you take that Reagan speech from the UN and from the CFR, and you look at that as proof that there's aliens. But now I look at that, when you look at him and like at the CFR, he goes, wouldn't all our jobs be a little bit easier if there was some sort of threat? Some extraterrestrial threat.
Well,
he's talking
says,
to the rule.
Well, it's not exactly what he said.
No. You're talking about the UN one. I'm talking about a
yes.
different one. He did it
So he
many
had
times.
two different
Dude, he was
speeches.
doing it all. No, that was a bunch of them.
Yeah.
He was on a mission to get everyone. But he
think
makes
about
it sound
UFOs.
like. But he's like making it sound like humanitarian. Like wouldn't all our differences just seem to diminish if there was some sort of extraterrestrial threat? That was getting everybody used to this shit. We're gonna come. The UN is all about a one world government.
That off?
They can't do it. But now we're approaching the tech. We have the technology now with holograms. Now we could do it. It's always been for hundreds of years. They knew that. But they couldn't pull it off. How are you going to pull it off?
Because the dudes who know how to make that shit are making movies. When you imagine, what are you saying?
I told you about this last week. You said you didn't see it. Where
What is
Trump's
that?
talking about the military-industrial complex.
Oh, yes. Oh, let me hear that.
Can we hear that?
Yeah.
Was that free use?
You're talking about Space Force?
The president, right?
Is he talking about Space Force?
No.
You can reassure people you're not looking for some kind of
this is Fox
conflict.
News, man. You can't play this.
It's the news.
Yeah, it's Fox. It's like a clip from a Fox segment.
It's the news, though.
Yeah, but I don't think you get pulled for this.
If you don't want me to play it, I won't play it. But
Yeah, the news.
I'd
You
like
could always
to-
play the news.
Okay,
You
let me
could
hear him
always
say
play
it.
the news.
Let me hear him say it. This is my friend Steve Hilton's show.
Just there. And don't kid yourself, you do have a military-industrial complex. They do like war. You know, in Syria with the caliphate. So I wipe out 100% of the caliphate. That doesn't mean you're not going to have these crazy people going around blowing up stores and blowing up things. These are seriously ill people. I don't want to say, oh, they're wiped out, ISIS. But I wiped out 100% of the caliphate. I say, I want to bring our troops back home. The place went crazy. They want to keep. You have people here in Washington.
want it.
They never want to leave. I say, you know what I'll do? I'll leave a couple of hundred soldiers behind. But if it was up to them, they'd bring thousands of soldiers in. Someday people will explain it.
Well, this is an
but
example.
you do have.
Whoa,
right, yeah.
That's fucking heavy. Now stop right here. Now, if that was from anyone, any normal person, you would say that guy's out of his fucking mind. That's a conspiracy. There's no one who wants war. But you hear that from the actual sitting president of the United States, who has no reason to say that. Like, why does he have a reason to say that? It must be an excuse for why he didn't pull everyone out 100%. And that's a really overlooked insight. And that's part of the problem, is that so many people hate Trump that even when he says something like that we should listen to, because it's coming from the president of the United States while he's a sitting president and while he's talking about pulling people out of war. And people still don't want to listen because it's on Fox News and because it's the president, because so many people hate the president. They don't want to hear about this. That should be something that's talked about.
The D class that's about to happen. Shit,
You think so? What is the D class that's about to happen?
It's
What does that mean? You mean declassification?
declass the FISA applications, declass everything involved in how the Russian investigation started.
Right.
That's the problem. They were trying. There's evidence, and this is coming with the FISA declass, that Trump wasn't supposed to win. There's text messages going back between two FBI agents,
Right.
saying, "Well, what if he wins?" And goes, "He ain't gonna win. Hillary's gonna crush him like
Right.
a zillion to one." And he goes, "But what if he does win?" And these are text messages that have been released.